Have you ever found yourself feeling trapped in a moment of hardship, longing for a way out? Perhaps you've experienced deep sorrow, felt the sting of loss, or faced setbacks that seem insurmountable. Do you wonder if your past mistakes or missed chances have sealed your fate? If these thoughts resonate with you, you're not alone. C.S. Lewis, in his profound wisdom, reminds us that you can make anything by writing. This truth echoes the divine reality that even when life feels like a closed book, the author of our lives is still at work. Our story is not over, it is simply a page waiting to be turned. God, who is the master of renewal, is taking the pen and crafting a new chapter for you. This chapter is brimming with hope, renewal, and a purpose that might yet reveal itself in extraordinary ways. As you ponder this message, let the assurance that God's work in your life is ongoing bring you comfort and encouragement. Stay with us as we explore how this divine promise unfolds in our lives, and remember, the story is far from finished. In the quiet moments of reflection, it's natural to find ourselves haunted by the narratives of our past. We flip through the chapters of our lives, burdened by failures, lost relationships, and periods where hope seemed like a distant memory. Yet it's crucial to remember that these moments do not define our ultimate worth or potential. As C.S. Lewis poignantly suggests in his writings, the essence of our existence is not confined to what has already happened, but is bound up in the infinite possibilities that lie ahead. For Lewis, our lives are not simply linear stories, but a journey towards an ever-unfolding narrative crafted by a higher power. Imagine a painter faced with a canvas of chaotic, disordered strokes. To the untrained eye, it might seem like a mess, but the artist sees a masterpiece in progress. Similarly, God's perspective on our lives is not limited by the brokenness or mistakes of our past. Instead, He views each moment as a brushstroke in a grand design, one that is continuously evolving toward a radiant future. This is not unlike the way Lewis describes the divine as a creator who sees beyond our immediate struggles to the potential for transformative beauty. Consider the story of the phoenix, a mythical bird that rises from its own ashes. This legend encapsulates the truth that, just as the phoenix is reborn through fire, so too can our lives be reshaped through the trials we face. This imagery resonates deeply with Christian belief, echoing the truth found in scriptures like Isaiah 61 verse 3, which speaks of God providing a crown of beauty instead of ashes. This promise highlights that God specializes in turning the most desolate situations into testimonies of His grace and power. C.S. Lewis, in his book The Chronicles of Narnia, often explored themes of redemption and renewal. His characters, much like us, undergo profound transformation not despite their flaws but because of them. Lewis portrays the journey of becoming whole as one filled with both suffering and miraculous recovery. The same holds true for us. Our scars are not markers of defeat, but of resilience and potential. God takes our brokenness and, with divine artistry, transforms it into something beautiful and purposeful. In the grand narrative of your life, you may feel as though the chapters written are beyond redemption, that the ink is too smudged to ever tell a story of hope. However, it's essential to understand that God's method of rewriting is not about erasing the past, but about reinterpreting it. He does not overlook the pain, but rather incorporates it into a larger tapestry of strength and joy. As Lewis reflects in Mere Christianity, you can make something beautiful out of the fragments of your life. The good news is that God is in the business of doing just that. If you find yourself at a crossroads, burdened by the weight of life's challenges, remember that the story of your life is still being written. God is not only aware of your struggles, but actively using them to build a foundation for future blessings. He takes our fears, turning them into faith. He takes our tears, transforming them into joy. The seeming detours and closed doors are not failures, but divine redirections leading to a greater purpose. In those moments of deep uncertainty, when the future feels clouded and hope seems like a distant dream, hold firm to the truth that God's plan for you is one of ultimate redemption. The difficulties you face are not pointless but are part of a grand, beautiful design crafted by a loving Creator. The delays and detours are purposeful, each step weaving together a story that is uniquely yours, full of potential and grace. Trust that God is working tirelessly behind the scenes, orchestrating every detail to fulfill His promises and bring about a greater good. Your life is a testament to His unending faithfulness and boundless love, continually shaped by His divine hand. Navigating through life can often feel like walking through a labyrinth of uncertainty, where each twist and turn seems shrouded in mystery and challenges. In moments of confusion or difficulty, it's crucial to hold steadfast in the belief that there is a greater design at work, crafted with divine precision. The profound wisdom of trusting in God's plan resonates deeply here. Imagine a master artist painting a vast, intricate mural. Each brushstroke, while seemingly inconsequential on its own, contributes to a grand, cohesive masterpiece. In the same way, our lives, though filled with seemingly insignificant or painful events, are being woven into a greater tapestry by a divine hand. This perspective aligns with the encouraging promise found in Jeremiah 29, verse 11, where God assures us, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." This verse underscores the fundamental truth that our trust in God's plan is not a passive resignation but an active engagement with His vision for our lives. Understanding and embracing God's timing is another cornerstone of this journey. Just as a gardener knows when to plant seeds and when to allow them to grow, God's timing is impeccably precise. Reflecting on the words of C.S. Lewis, who observed that you can make anything by writing, we see a parallel in how God writes the story of our lives. Just as an author carefully paces their narrative, so does God orchestrate the events of our lives. Trusting in His timing means recognizing that every season, whether of growth, dormancy, or harvest, is essential to the overall narrative. This perspective helps us remain patient and optimistic, even when we find ourselves in the midst of transition or waiting. The process of understanding God's work in our lives involves acknowledging that unforeseen challenges and setbacks are not mere obstacles but integral parts of a divine plan. Each challenge is akin to a plot twist in a novel seemingly disruptive, yet pivotal for the unfolding of the story. As C.S. Lewis famously said, "Hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny." This sentiment echoes the notion that our trials are not random, they are purposeful and transformative. By surrendering control and embracing these challenges, we allow ourselves to participate actively in a narrative far richer and more purposeful than anything we could conceive on our own. The concept of purpose and pain is deeply intertwined with this journey. Life's difficulties, though painful, are not devoid of meaning. They are like the somber chapters in a great book, essential for understanding the fullness of the narrative. Romans 8 verse 28 beautifully captures this idea, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. This verse offers solace, affirming that every hardship is part of a grand design, contributing to our personal growth and the overall beauty of God's plan. Embracing this truth allows us to view our struggles not as isolated events, but as integral elements of a greater story that enriches our lives and deepens our understanding. Finding inspiration and meaning in our own stories and in the stories of those around us brings a sense of profound connection and motivation. The narrative of each person is imbued with moments of tension and release, struggles and victories, all of which contribute to a tapestry of experiences that inspire and uplift others. Just as a compelling story touches the hearts of its readers, our own journeys, filled with triumphs and trials, can serve as beacons of hope and encouragement for those who encounter them. In the words of C.S. Lewis, you can make anything by writing, and similarly, our lives are crafted through our responses to the circumstances we face. By allowing our stories to unfold with grace and faith, we create a narrative that not only blesses us, but also has the potential to inspire and uplift others. The journey of life, with all its unpredictability and challenges, is guided by a divine hand that crafts a story far greater than our own limited understanding. Trusting in God's plan, embracing His timing, accepting the process, finding purpose in pain, and drawing inspiration from our experiences allow us to navigate life with hope and resilience. As we walk this path, let us remain grateful for the divine guidance that directs our steps and the overarching narrative that infuses our lives with meaning and purpose. Through faith and trust, we find ourselves part of a magnificent story that is both uniquely ours and universally inspiring. In the intricate tapestry of our lives, trials often feel like the dark threads woven through our existence, creating a pattern that can be difficult to decipher. Yet, it's within these very moments of challenge that God's profound work is carried out. As the renowned Christian writer C.S. Lewis once said, "You can make anything by writing," while Lewis was referring to the power of imagination and creativity. This sentiment also applies to how God uses life's adversities to craft our character. Just as an artist shapes a masterpiece through careful, deliberate strokes, God molds us through our trials, refining our faith and character in preparation for the blessings that lie ahead. Consider the biblical story of Joseph, who endured numerous hardships, from being sold into slavery by his brothers to being imprisoned on false charges. Joseph's trials were not random acts of cruelty, but deliberate stages in a divine plan. Despite his suffering, he remained steadfast, and in due time, he was elevated to a position of great authority, ultimately saving many lives, including those of his own family. This story vividly illustrates that periods of suffering are not without purpose. They are God's way of preparing us for future roles and blessings, equipping us with the resilience and wisdom needed to fulfill our destinies. Waiting, as we all know, is one of life's greatest challenges. It can feel like a void where our hopes and dreams are suspended in limbo. Yet these waiting periods are far from being idle stretches of time. They are fertile grounds where faith is cultivated and trust in God's timing is deepened. The Bible assures us in Lamentations 3 verse 25 to 26, "The Lord is good to those who wait for Him, to the soul who seeks Him." It is good that one should wait quietly for the salvation of the Lord. In our waiting, we are not simply biding time, we are actively engaging in a process of spiritual growth and learning to trust in a plan far greater than our own. God's timing, though often inscrutable to us, is always impeccably perfect. Our human perspective is limited. We see only the present moment and perhaps a few steps ahead. God, however, sees the entirety of our lives and the grand design of His plan. As Psalm 31 verse 15 reminds us, "My times are in your hands." This verse underscores the assurance that while we may be anxious about our future, our lives are held securely in divine hands that are both capable and benevolent. God's plans for us frequently diverge from our own expectations. We may face closed doors or find ourselves on unexpected detours. Yet these are not signs of divine neglect, but rather strategic adjustments in the grand scheme of our lives. Just as God led the Israelites through the wilderness before bringing them into the promised land, our own journeys may involve periods of detours and delays. These are not setbacks, but preparations for the greater things God has in store for us. Even when the path ahead seems obscured by uncertainty or disappointment, we are invited to trust in God's divine plan. Proverbs 3 verse 5 to 6 guides us in this regard. "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your path straight." This call to trust is a reminder that our understanding is limited, but God's plan is flawless. He is working all things together for our good, even when the outcome is not immediately clear. Our identity, too, is transformed through God's guidance. In a world that often defines us by our past mistakes or others' opinions, God offers a new perspective. According to 2 Corinthians 5 verse 17, "Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come, the old is gone, the new is here." This verse encapsulates the profound truth that our identity is redefined not by our failures or others' judgments, but by our relationship with God. We are loved, chosen, redeemed, and set on a path toward greatness according to His divine design. Gratitude is a powerful response to recognizing God's guiding hand in our lives. As we reflect on our journeys, both the struggles and the triumphs, it becomes clear that God's presence has been a steady and unwavering force. It is through acknowledging His role in our lives that we find the strength to persevere, the courage to trust, and the hope to continue moving forward. Each trial faced and each delay encountered is a testament to His faithfulness, as He shapes us into the individuals we are meant to be and prepares us for the blessings that await. The process of character building through trials, the purpose found in waiting, the perfection of God's timing, the unexpected paths we traverse, and the trust required in His divine plan are all integral parts of our spiritual journey. Embracing these truths with a heart full of gratitude not only deepens our faith but also enhances our capacity to experience and share the blessings that God so generously provides. Through every twist and turn, we are guided by a divine hand that molds us into reflections of His love and purpose. In our journey through life, we often find ourselves entangled in past experiences and labels that no longer serve us. Yet, there is profound freedom and transformation waiting when we embrace the new identity that God has crafted for us. Consider the story of Saul, who became Paul, a man radically transformed by a divine encounter. Saul's former identity as a persecutor of Christians was shed as he stepped into his new role as a leading figure in the early church. This transition wasn't merely a change of name, but a profound metamorphosis of purpose and direction. In the same way, letting go of past labels and accepting the new identity God has in store for us opens the door to personal growth and a renewed sense of purpose. The burden of past mistakes can be heavy, often anchoring us in regret and shame. However, the divine promise is clear: we are not defined by our past. In Isaiah 43 verse 18 to 19, we are reminded, "Forget the former things, do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up, do you not perceive it?" God is continuously working to craft a future that surpasses our previous setbacks. By releasing the hold of past experiences, we position ourselves to embrace the new opportunities and grace He is offering. This fresh start is not about erasing history, but about redefining our path with renewed hope and faith. Each new chapter in our lives is a testament to God's grace and favor. Picture a blank page in a writer's journal, waiting to be filled with stories of redemption and growth. Just as a writer drafts a new chapter with anticipation, God is meticulously crafting a new chapter in our lives, filled with grace and boundless possibilities. This chapter often includes new relationships that align with our purpose and help us navigate toward our divine destiny. Much like a garden that needs weeding to make space for new growth, our lives sometimes require the ending of certain relationships to cultivate a fertile environment for new, supportive connections. Relationships play a pivotal role in our journey, and some may naturally come to an end to make way for those that align with our evolving self. In the realm of relationships, change is a constant. The Bible's wisdom is evident in Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1. "To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven." As we progress, it is crucial to recognize and accept that some relationships may no longer support our growth. By letting go of these connections, we create space for individuals who will encourage us, challenge us, and walk alongside us in our pursuit of God's purpose for our lives. Embracing new possibilities requires an open heart and unwavering trust in God's guidance. Much like a traveler who steps into unknown territories with faith in their map, We are called to trust in the divine path that is unfolding before us. C.S. Lewis eloquently captures this sentiment in his reflections on faith and uncertainty, suggesting that we must have courage to step into the unknown, believing that God is guiding each step of our journey. By opening our hearts to the possibilities God introduces, we align ourselves with His plan and allow Him to rewrite our story in ways that exceed our wildest dreams. Reflecting on our journey is an essential practice. By pausing to assess where we are, we can seek God's guidance more intentionally. Psalms 37 verse 23 assures us, "The Lord makes firm the steps of the one who delights in Him." As we reflect, we gain clarity and confidence in the direction God is leading us. Trusting in His plan helps us to navigate our journey with assurance that He has a promising and potential-filled future ahead. This reflection not only grounds us but also ignites a deeper understanding of our purpose and the divine orchestration at play in our lives. Looking forward with anticipation is a powerful act of faith. Imagine the excitement of a new dawn, where the first rays of sunlight promise a new day full of potential. This is the attitude we should adopt as we anticipate what God is preparing for us. Jeremiah 29 verse 11 reinforces this hope, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Believing that the best parts of our story are yet to come fuels our journey with hope and enthusiasm, transforming our expectations into reality. In essence, our journey is a testament to God's unwavering guidance and the endless opportunities He provides. By embracing our new identity, releasing past constraints, welcoming grace, and transforming our relationships, we align ourselves with a divine plan that is far greater than we can envision. With an open heart and a reflective spirit, we anticipate a future filled with promise and potential, trusting that God is indeed crafting a beautiful story in our lives. Let us move forward with gratitude and faith, knowing that each step is guided by His loving hand and that the best chapters are still ahead. In the intricate tapestry of our lives, God weaves a narrative far beyond our immediate understanding, crafting a story that encompasses not just the external circumstances, but the profound inner transformation of our very essence. When God undertakes the task of rewriting your story, He is not merely altering your outward reality, He is deeply engaged in reshaping your heart, character, and soul. This process often involves dismantling old, entrenched patterns of behavior and thought, those familiar, yet unproductive habits that once seemed comforting, but now obstruct your true self from emerging. Consider the transformative power illustrated in Romans 12 verse 2, which urges, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." This renewal is not a superficial fix, it is a profound inner metamorphosis. Just as a sculptor chisels away at a block of marble to reveal the masterpiece within, God meticulously works to refine our inner being. This transformation is not always smooth or comfortable. It demands that we release old identities and habits that no longer serve us, embracing instead a new identity rooted in His purpose and love. Embracing this transformative journey can be daunting. Change is rarely easy, especially when it involves letting go of the familiar and stepping into the unknown. As C.S. Lewis aptly noted, "You can make anything by writing." This sentiment extends beyond the written word to our lives. God is the divine author who writes and rewrites our personal stories. And sometimes, this rewriting involves the painful task of tearing down our old selves to build something new. Yet just as a skilled craftsman never abandons his work, so too does God remain with us throughout this process, guiding us with an unwavering hand. His presence is akin to a beacon in the storm, providing direction, comfort, and strength, even when the path ahead seems obscured. This divine guidance is especially crucial during moments of difficulty. As we confront the inevitable challenges and discomforts of change, it's important to remember that God is not a distant observer but an active participant in our journey. He is like a masterful gardener, tending to the soil of our souls, pruning away what hinders growth and nurturing the seeds of potential that lie within us. This guidance is both practical and spiritual, offering wisdom for daily decisions and peace for our troubled hearts. Healing. Another critical element of this transformative process speaks to God's deep compassion and commitment to our well-being. Healing in God's hands is a thorough and restorative work. It is about mending not just physical wounds, but also the deeper emotional and spiritual scars that affect our lives. Psalm 147 verse 3 provides a poignant reminder. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. This healing is not immediate or always evident. It is a journey that often involves confronting painful memories and unresolved issues. However, in every step of this healing journey, God's presence assures us that we are never alone. His grace transforms our scars into testimonies of His love and faithfulness. The process of healing and transformation is gradual and requires patience. It involves allowing God to work at His own pace, trusting that each step, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, is part of His greater plan. Like a patient artist who carefully adds layers to a canvas, God's work in our lives is meticulous and purposeful. Each moment of pain and struggle is infused with His grace, turning our experiences into opportunities for growth and renewal. God's transformative work is about making all things new. This is not merely about improving our circumstances, but about redefining our very selves in alignment with His divine purpose. As He works to heal our wounds and reshape our hearts, He brings forth a new creation, a reflection of His image, and a testament to His unwavering love. This new self is not just an improved version of the old, but a wholly renewed being, fully alive to the potential and promise that God has designed for us. In reflecting on the journey of transformation and healing, we can find solace and motivation in the knowledge that God is ever present, ever loving, and ever guiding. Each step we take under His guidance brings us closer to the true selves He envisions for us. His presence ensures that we are never alone in our struggles, and that every challenge we face is an opportunity for His grace to manifest in our lives. As we navigate the complexities of transformation, let us hold fast to the assurance that God's work in us is both purposeful and profoundly loving. In the journey of life, we often find ourselves at crossroads, wondering about our purpose and the direction we should take. It's during these times that the divine hand of guidance becomes most apparent, steering us toward a path that is uniquely ours. As we traverse the varied chapters of our lives, it's essential to recognize that each phase is intricately designed to prepare us for the calling that God has placed upon our hearts. Just as the psalmist writes, "The Lord will fulfill His purpose for me." Psalm 138 verse 8. We are reminded that every experience, every challenge, and every triumph serves a higher purpose. Embracing this understanding requires us to look inward and acknowledge the gifts and talents bestowed upon us. These aren't merely personal attributes, but divine endowments meant to serve a greater plan. C.S. Lewis, in his profound wisdom, once remarked, "You can make anything into a god by worshiping it." This insight invites us to turn our focus away from transient concerns and toward the meaningful use of our gifts in service of a higher purpose. Our talents are not just for our own benefit, but are intended to glorify God and contribute to the broader tapestry of His work. The journey towards this purpose involves a deep and trusting relationship with God. Just as Jesus invites us to come to Him with our burdens, He also calls us to be obedient to His guidance. The path to fulfilling our purpose is paved with trust and openness to the opportunities He presents. The story of Moses is a testament to this. Despite his initial reluctance and self-doubt, Moses embraced his role in leading the Israelites out of Egypt, guided by faith in God's promise. His obedience, despite personal fears, exemplifies how surrendering to divine direction can lead to profound and far-reaching impacts. Furthermore, leaning on God's promises is a source of strength and reassurance. The Bible is replete with assurances of God's support and provision. For instance, Philippians 4 verse 19 assures us, "And my God will meet all your needs according to the riches of His glory in Christ Jesus." These promises are not just comforting words, but are anchors that provide hope and security as we navigate through life's uncertainties. When we face new challenges or embark on new paths, we can hold fast to these promises, knowing that God is with us, guiding and sustaining us. Transformation is a key aspect of this journey. As God works in our lives, He is continually reshaping our story with love and purpose. This ongoing process of transformation can be both exhilarating and challenging. Romans 12 verse 2 encourages us to be transformed by the renewing of your mind, reminding us that change is a vital part of spiritual growth. As we allow ourselves to be molded by God's hand, we open ourselves up to new possibilities and experiences that align with our true purpose. Anticipation and hope play significant roles in this transformative process. Just as a sculptor chisels away at a block of marble to reveal a masterpiece, God is continuously working on us to unveil our true selves. Each step forward, each lesson learned, is part of the divine plan that leads us to our ultimate purpose. The journey is not always easy, but it is filled with promise and potential. We are encouraged to look forward with optimism, trusting that the most rewarding chapters of our lives are still to come. In maintaining our focus on God, we align ourselves with a plan that transcends our individual experiences and aspirations. The future, while uncertain, is filled with potential and promise. As we move forward, it is crucial to hold on to the belief that God is creating a remarkable story for each of us, one that is rich with meaning and fulfillment. The path ahead may be shrouded in mystery, but it is paved with divine intention and love. As you navigate the evolving chapters of your life, remember to embrace your gifts, trust in God's guidance, lean on His promises, and anticipate the beautiful transformation that lies ahead. By doing so, you not only honor your divine purpose, but also partake in the incredible story that God is weaving with your life. The journey is both profound and deeply personal, and it is a testament to the unwavering faith and guidance that shape our lives in the most extraordinary ways. When we place our trust in God, we embrace a certainty that He will provide for our needs, heal our wounds, and orchestrate breakthroughs beyond our expectations. Each prayer is a testament to our belief in His perfect timing and boundless grace. We anticipate the marvels He is preparing in our lives, knowing that our trust is not in vain. Let us remain steadfast in our gratitude, offering praise for the wonders yet to unfold. In every moment, may we remember that our journey is guided by His divine plan, and in His name, we find our hope and strength. Amen.